Corvallis, Oregon, home of Oregon State University, great parks, and is often regarded as a great place for families. But is it a great place to retire? This is what I'm going to talk about today. Hey, my name is Tyler Thomas. I'm a realtor with E3 Realty, located here in the Willamette Valley in Oregon. I grew up right next to Corvallis in nearby Philomath, and this area is really great. As I said, today I'm going to talk about if Corvallis is a good place to retire. If you have any questions at the end of this video, feel free to message me. I'll be glad to help. My information is in the description below. And you can subscribe to my channel for more information in the future about Corvallis and all the surrounding areas. So let's go ahead and get into it. And first we're going to talk about more of the financial side, and that's going to be, does Oregon tax your retirement income? So it's an important thing to think about if you're coming out of state. It's thinking about whether your income is going to be taxed or not. Oregon does not tax Social Security benefits, but it does tax retirement account withdrawals. We've got some of the highest state income tax, which is 4.75 to 9.9%. And this is roughly 6th in the entire US. I'm going to leave a link in the description to NerdWallet where I found this information. So while Oregon does have one of the highest income taxes, hopefully when you retire, that's not going to affect you that much. And one thing that's also going to kind of hopefully balance that out is that we actually don't have any sales tax. So in the grand scheme of things, it actually does make Oregon kind of more of a tax-friendly state. And to go with more of the financial side, here I'm going to talk about the median sales price of Corvallis. So I'm just going to quickly go over kind of what the overall price of living in Corvallis is. The median sales price for the month of July of 2024, which by the time you're possibly watching this could change, is $525,000. In Corvallis, as well as Benton County as a whole, the county that Corvallis is in is one of the more expensive cities and just most expensive counties in the area. I previously did a video on the cost of living in Corvallis, so you can go ahead and check that out if you want. Next up, dealing with a little bit more of getting out and exploring, is does Corvallis have good beaches and mountains nearby? I'm personally a guy that loves getting out there and just exploring and getting out in nature. And a lot of people in this area and surrounding areas are really looking to just get out there, get out of town, get into the mountains, and head to the beach. Oregon really is a great place for beaches. We have 363 great free public miles of coastline. Corvallis is only about an hour drive from Newport, which is a really great coastal town. Highway 101 takes you along the coastline. There's a lot of great beaches you can go do, as well as just getting out and doing a lot of adventuring. And if you're looking to just get out and explore all along the beach, to the north of Newport, you're going to have places like Lincoln City, Seaside, and Astoria. To the south, you can go ahead, head down to Yachats, which is very popular. You got things like Florence, and all the way south, you've got Brookings. And some places are definitely farther than others along that Highway 101. So if you're a person who likes to get out, beachcomb, if you're looking for great seafood, or going out on the ocean for some great fishing, living in Corvallis, you're not that far away from that. We've also got the great Coastal Range Mountains if you're looking for doing a lot of hiking or biking, as well as to the east of Corvallis, you're going to have the Cascade Mountain ranges. So you're going to be having a lot of your snowboarding and your skiing, as well as great hiking opportunities there. So you got a lot of great opportunities if you're looking to kind of get out and explore and stay active, whether it's the coast or the mountains in Corvallis. Next up, is Corvallis a healthy place to retire? Outdoor recreation is very prevalent in Corvallis area, and there's something for everybody. All around us are really great hiking, running, and biking trails. In town we have the Willamette River, which is a really great opportunity for kayaking and rafting as well. Once we get into spring, the family farms surrounding the areas will often have great stands. And Corvallis has a phenomenal Saturday market, and they have a lot of really great quality farm stands there if you're looking to get your hands on some great produce. And Corvallis does have a lot of places in town that if you have specific health needs, we've got different stores for you. Things like Natural Grocers, First Alternative Natural Foods Co-op, as well as Market of Choice are options, and there are others too. So if you're looking for organic food, you're vegetarian, if you need something to deal with allergies or having very specific health needs, there's probably a store there that's got something for you. Also a really good variety of restaurants in town that have healthy options. Their menus bring a lot more of that healthy vibe in the past and things that can promote that healthy lifestyle that people in Corvallis like. The downtown area of Corvallis has a lot of these options, as well as there are others sprinkled around town as well. Next up is, what is the weather like in Corvallis? Now in Corvallis, we definitely have all 4 seasons. We get pretty temperate-like conditions, so we don't really get a lot of those extremes either way. We tend to get mild temperatures in the spring and summer. This year we did have a good stretch of 100 days, which for most anyone living in this area is pretty awful. We're not built for that. But we really don't get that many, and typically we're going to be hanging out in that low 90s and 80s ranges. Now, as far as winters go, we do get lows kind of down into the teens, but kind of like in the summers with extreme heat, it doesn't happen very often. The past 2 years have been kind of interesting. We've had some ice storms that have rolled through and caused a little bit of chaos, but it does not happen often. We're not really prepared for those kind of situations. We don't get a lot of ice or snow, so we kind of tend to shut down a little bit when things like that happen. Most of the time, all through winter, we're going to be pretty cloudy and just have a lot of rain. When we do get snow, it's maybe like an inch or two, a light dusting. We don't really get like feet of snow like some places. And if you're in town, you do want to go mess around in the snow. You got Mary's Peak nearby, as well as getting over to the Cascades. There you're going to have those options for really getting in the snow. Now, it being Oregon, we always have a reputation of being just rain all the time. And Corvallis' average inches per year is 43 inches. And that's actually the same as Oregon's average inches per year. Now that actually puts us as 20th in the US, which kind of based upon our reputation of just being constantly wet all the time, kind of expect us to be a little bit higher. Now we do get a lot of cloudy days. The average amount of sunny days we see per year is 159, and the US average is 205. The next thing up is Corvallis easy on the eyes. So is it a pretty place? Corvallis being an area that is a great outdoor wonderland, being an hour from the coast, hour from the Cascade Mountain range, as well as having the Willamette Rivers and other great things around. If you're into that, it is definitely a pretty place. You've also got Mary's Peak just to the west, and growing up, that was one of my favorite views being from Philomath. It is a really great place for sunsets, also just driving up to the top of Mary's Peak and getting a whole view of the valley. Also, the parks in Corvallis are, I feel like, really well maintained. My kids love coming to them. I did a video a while ago of all the parks in Corvallis, so you can kind of see what they look like in the different parts of town, so you can kind of see what area might actually be right for you. Next, I'm going to talk about if Corvallis is a safe place to live. So I'm definitely kind of finding that it is difficult sometimes to find statistics that kind of match up. I'm going to leave 2 links in the description, one for area vibes, one for niche, that you can go ahead and look at a lot of these different statistics. But what you'll essentially see is that Corvallis has kind of more of a less violent crime, and it's more of a kind of theft. We do have pretty high homeless population. Now, most of that is kind of centered around the downtown and central part of town areas. If you check out the maps that are available on these links that I'm putting in the description, it'll kind of show you also different colors on hot being more theft and the different colors kind of showing where there's a little bit less. When talking to people, generally, they kind of feel like there's not a whole lot of crime. Most what people are going to really talk about is kind of more that theft, burglary that happens, and not a whole lot of the violent crimes, like I said. And there are the certain neighborhoods in town that might historically have more issues than others. Bike theft is pretty well talked about with the college being in town. A lot of people traveling on bike. That's just something that is going to happen. It's a very bike-friendly city, so there's just bikes everywhere, it seems like. So just kind of here talking about Oregon as a whole, the violent crime rate accounts for 12% of all crimes, and US, that average is 16. Oregon as a whole sees about 5% more in those property crimes as the rest of the US. And the property crimes actually take up 88% of all crimes in Oregon, and the national average is 84. So we do have just in the state more crime like that. And burglary accounted for roughly 12% of all property crime, and nationally that number is 13%. Generally, I feel people are pretty safe in Corvallis. Whenever I hear anyone talk about it, most of those things they do bring up is this theft and burglary. But generally, I feel like people feel pretty safe. So if you want to do a really deep dive, you can go ahead and check out those 2 links I'll leave in the description, and you can go look at the different kind of stats there. Next up is, does Corvallis have good restaurants? Corvallis being in the Willamette Valley, we actually have some really good wineries nearby. If that's a thing that you want to get into, there's a lot of options. We also have great breweries. We've got food trucks now. We've got really good college eats as well as fine dining. So kind of depending on what you're looking for, you probably got it. Now downtown's where you're going to have some more of those fine dining restaurants. Now fine dining, depending upon your description, as well as a lot more of those kind of sit-down restaurants you're going to have down there. On 9th Street, kind of more in the north central area of town, is where you're going to have also more of your sit-down restaurants and a lot more of your fast food options. Just north of campus is where you're also going to have a lot of really good restaurants and things. That's kind of the area a lot more of the student population is going to end up. So right there you are going to have a lot of different little shopping options, some really good bars, sit-down restaurants, pizza places, kind of a lot of options right there. And now we've got what things there are to do for retirees in Corvallis. So of course we've got things like hunting, fishing, as well as getting up in those mountains and heading to the coast. We've got a casino about an hour away in Spirit Mountain. You've also got right in town Oregon State University with all of its great activities. You have activities for every sport that the college has, as well as other things like theater and other things that the college has within it. The community loves supporting OSU, and I know a lot of people that'll go to just about every single activity that the college puts on, whether that's the arts or sports, and it can keep them busy. There's the Corvallis Country Club, and it's got different activities, and it's got its great golf course. There's also the Tristan Tree Golf Course on the east side of Corvallis, on the other side of the Willamette. You've also got in the northwest part of town a great par 3 golf course that also has a little putt-putt course. So that's a great option as well. Wineries, as stated, are pretty prevalent in the area, and there's starting to be a lot more. It being the Willamette Valley, which is kind of getting a really good reputation for this. They've got a lot of tasting rooms in these, so you can go ahead and get a bite to eat, take a sip of the wine, and just enjoy the atmosphere. Breweries are also really big in Corvallis. You've also got Two Towns, which has become very popular with its cider. Like I've covered, we've got some great restaurants in town, and also really close nearby is Albany, and their downtown area is really good for restaurants if you just take Highway 20. And that's another great thing about Corvallis. It's right nearby a bunch of other places, so not too far away, you've got other options. So you can consider the beauty of Corvallis, as well as the outdoor lifestyle, the eateries, and just general amenities. Corvallis is going to knock off a lot of things off your list. And that's it. I hope you found this video helpful to see if Corvallis is the right city for you. Feel free to reach out with any questions you have. My information, as I said, is in the description below, so you can send me a text, email, or just give me a call. And subscribe to my channel for more future videos about Corvallis and all the surrounding areas. Again, I'm Tyler Thomas with E3 Realty. I'll be glad to be a local resource for our real estate needs.